Hey guys, I just finished The Shattered World by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I'm gonna have to give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. I like the world and I semi like the plot of it. Characters, I semi like the characters. That's kind of what gives it the 4 out of 5 stars. Climax definitely redeemed this book. It was gonna get a 3.5, but it's a solid 4 now. I think it's a great addition to the series. I do like the first book more than I like this book, but it's still a good book. And I mean, if you want to continue on with the series, then I obviously recommend reading it. It's just not as good as the first book, so yeah, that's basically what I thought of it. And we'll get on to the review. Hey guys, it's me Jessica, and today I'm doing a review for This Shattered World by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. This is the second book in the Starbound trilogy, and it is the first book I read for my February theme of the month. Yeah, I'm currently not reading the third book, but I'll get to why in the spoiler sections. So, the main characters of this book is Jubilee Chase and Flynn Cormac. Jubilee Chase is a captain in the army who is currently fighting the rebellion on a planet called Avon, and Flynn Cormac is a rebel fighter, and so they meet and stuff happens. Basically these two characters have to come together to try and stop this rebellion, and also there are some things that happen with Larux. I know it's French, but I can't pronounce it. Larux Industries, and also the whispers that we found out in these Broken Stars. So it's kind of a continuation with new characters, and we get to find out a little bit more. I'm giving this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I didn't love it as much as I loved these Broken Stars, and the characters kind of annoyed me just slightly. And I'll get to that in the spoiler section. And I would recommend this book as a second book in a series. It's good, not as good as the first, but it's still good, and it's a good addition. I would definitely recommend reading this book if you've read These Broken Stars, just so you could get to Their Fractured Light, which is the third book, which I'm not reading, but I'll explain that, so I'll explain that. So we're going into the spoilers now, so here we go. I love the planet Avon. I think it's a great planet. I love the whole swamp atmosphere, and I like how it adds to the story itself, kind of like the atmosphere and the planet itself is making other soldiers go crazy. I thought that was fantastic, and I love it. And I love how they have to basically go back to basics because the swamp environment is messing with everything that's electronic. I love that a lot. I thought that was a great kind of add-on, and it's reason why like the rebellion is such a a bare bone rebellion, that it's like they're using antique guns that we consider modern technology, and they're kind of doing old school, and I love it so much, and I love this story a lot. I love the planet a lot. Character-wise, I have an issue, because first 2 chapters, I'm in love with these characters. Like, Jubilee Chase is being sarcastic and snarky and flirting with this guy, and then she's also trying to get a read on him, like, is he an actual soldier, or is he here to mess up what I am doing as my job? And I love how she's doing that, and then she's also noticing that he's trying to get a read on her, and then the second chapter, they're literally fighting each other in the alley of the bar that they were flirting each other with. I think that was just so fantastic, and I think Flynn was such a great character, but it's after that the characters kind of go downhill and they become a little more depressing, and I'm like, come on, like let's get back to that whole like flirty thing that was going on. In terms of their relationship together, I like how it was taken a little bit slow, considering this was supposed to be the romance February. It didn't really quite fulfill the requirements that I thought it was going to be fulfilling, but either way, I thought this story was great. I mean, like, look at this cover. He's literally shirtless and, like, just button your shirt, dude. And all the pinks and the stars, and you think this is going to be romance, but they take the romance very slow, and I think Flynn is more into the relationship than Jubilee is, but I definitely understand why Jubilee isn't really into the relationship in the beginning, because she's a soldier, and also because she's never really been in a relationship like this, kind of. I mean, she did with Alexei? So yeah, but their relationship was quite weird to me. I wasn't really into it that much. I was definitely feeling the Romeo and Juliet vibes though. Halfway through this book, I was like, they're gonna die. They're gonna die. They're not gonna make it out of this alive. Because I mean, Jubilee calls Flynn Romeo for like half the book, and there's the reference to Romeo and Juliet in the beginning, and also the planet Jubilee is from is called Verona. Like, how blatant can you get about the Romeo and Juliet metaphors? I don't know, but yeah. So I was going to give this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and the thing that brought it back was definitely the ending and what we learned about the Whispers and also their broadcast, well, mostly Flynn's broadcast to the galaxy. That's definitely what brought it back, and I am very excited to see what happens, the kind of effects of that. I love the conversation that Jubilee has with her ghost of November, and how he was like, I took away your dreams after your parents died because I thought I was protecting you. And I really thought it was interesting to see these beings from another world and how they react to human beings, because this ghost, this whisper that formed an attachment to Jubilee was with her almost her entire life, and then there are these other whispers that want to murder everyone. And what I love is that these ghosts, these whispers are supposed to be one. Like, they say we, and they are one creature, and then this one ghost has like its own individual experiences with Jubilee, and that affects it and not the whole. So I really enjoyed that, and I think that's what gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars for me, because what we got from the Whispers, and I'm so excited to see how it happens. I absolutely love that part in the end when Roderick Lorux, or whatever, how you ever pronounce it in French, how he's sitting there talking about how he's going to give aid to Ibon to help it grow and prosper as a planet. And I'm like, you're gonna go there, demolish everything that you built to hide those whispers, and I was just not having it, where he was like, I'm gonna help, and I was like, no you're not, no you're not. I don't know how I feel about having Tarver and Lilac in the story. I would have been fine if they kept it to where Tarver and Lilac were just through transmission and weren't, and how Tarver actually flies there. Because he's there for like 2 days, and we see him for one of the days he's there, and then he's gone. And that's about it. And I was like, what's the point of him being there? Besides him being there to be like, hey look, it's Tarver. Tarver's still alive. Hey look, Lilac and Tarver are gonna get married. Like, I feel like that's the only purpose he really brought to the table, other than warning Jubilee and Flynn that Lorux industry is not something to be messed with. We did get the introductions of the next characters for the 3rd book, which are the Knave of Hearts, I believe his name is Gideon, and also Sophia, who her father Quinn, so Sophia Quinn, her father David Quinn dies. He was apparently the kind of bomber for the explosion that took down the barrack. I don't understand what it is with these, with authors making like well-rounded main characters but flat side characters. Like Molly felt maybe a little more developed to me than most other. Captain Towers didn't feel too developed. We didn't see a lot of her. I didn't feel like a lot happened in this book besides them running around, and it was a little annoying because I was like, there's so much you can do. You can do so much with having like Flynn trying to convince McBride not to go into all-out war. I would love to have seen a patrol of Jubilee on patrol and there being a small skirmish between the rebels. I would have loved to seen something like that. There's just so much stuff that could have happened, and it just felt like these two characters were running around a bunch of the time trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. You guys should be going on with your lives and trying to figure out what's going on. So, yeah. I really don't know what else to say. Also, okay, so let's talk about how many times these characters go unconscious. I made a counter. They went unconscious 5 times in this book, and I felt like someone was always like falling asleep or was getting knocked out or was doing something to where they just were unconscious. And it was very annoying. When I meant my unconscious counter went to 5, I mean someone who was knocked out. I'm not talking about the times that they're gonna go to sleep. If I did do that, then it would probably be more like 10 or 12 times. It was just a little annoying. I'm like, you can't start a chapter with them waking up and then ending the chapter with that same character getting knocked out. You can't have a chapter where they're like doing something, barely doing anything, and then going to sleep in order to go into the next character. Like, you didn't do that with Tarver and Lilac, or maybe you didn't, I didn't notice it, but it annoyed me. It annoyed me. I'm sorry this review was a little bit of a letdown, but that is my review for this Shattered World. And the reason I'm not reading their Fractured Light is because of how much of a bummer I thought this book was. I'm not really ready for their Fractured Light yet. But it'll probably be next after the book I'm reading now. So those are my this is my review. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you've read this book and have opinions on it and or agree or disagree with what I've said about them, please make a comment down there and I'd be happy to read it and reply to it. Make sure to subscribe and also ring that bell as well to get notifications when I upload. And I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I post on most Tuesdays and Fridays. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.